Hi everyone, welcome to the hollylolly channel. Today we've got a very interesting topic. We're going to talk about things that can truly shock tourists in Japan. If you've ever been to Japan or are just planning your trip, you've probably already heard about things like the silence on public transportation. In the subway and trains, people hardly talk, and phone calls are considered rude. There are no trash bins on the streets, yet the streets remain perfectly clean. Toilets with lots of buttons, heated seats, sound masking music, and built-in bidets, this is the standard in Japan. Children are allowed to go out and take the subway alone. Even first graders can commute to school on public transportation by themselves. The cleanliness of the streets is incredible. Even in large cities, there's barely any trash. You've probably already heard about all this, but today I'm going to tell you about 15 things that can truly surprise you, even if you've been to Japan before. Let's go. Before we start this video, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like. First, everything is automated, yet fax machines are still used. Japan is a country of high technology. Here you can find restaurants where orders are taken by machines, self-checkout in stores, hotels without staff where you check in with a robot, and even robot police officers patrolling the streets. But at the same time, in many areas of life, old, almost archaic methods are still used. For example, many government offices still require you to send faxes, while most countries have long since switched to email and digital signatures. In Japan, in many cases, an official document must be printed out, signed by hand, stamped with a personal seal called a hanko, and possibly even sent by fax. Many offices are still buried in paperwork, and without a physical seal, a document might be considered invalid. This especially surprises foreigners who are used to fully digital document processing. So, while Japan is incredibly advanced in terms of technology, its bureaucracy still uses traditional methods that may seem outdated. Second, the speed of service in restaurants and stores. In other countries, restaurant service might take 15 to 30 minutes, but in Japan, your order arrives in just 2-3 minutes. In many places, there are no waiters at all. Orders are placed through electronic terminals, and your dish appears in front of you just minutes later. In conveyor belt sushi restaurants, the food is delivered on a small automatic platform, and in some places, it's even brought by robots. Supermarkets and stores also work incredibly fast. Cashiers scan items at lightning speed, and if you can't pack your groceries in time, someone will do it for you. Everything is designed so that customers don't waste time, and the process moves as quickly as possible. What's especially impressive in cafes and restaurants is the speed of food service, yet the quality remains top-notch. Japanese people value efficiency in everything, and food service is no exception. Third, separate lines for men and women. In Japanese subways, there are special women-only cars where men are not allowed. This is especially important during rush hours when trains are overcrowded. But such separation isn't limited to the subway. Some cafes and restaurants have areas reserved for women only. In public baths, pools, and gyms, there are separate showers and relaxation areas. And in some queues, there are even designated sections for men and women. These measures aim to ensure comfort and safety. For Japanese people, such divisions are normal, but they may seem unusual to tourists. Fourth, sound signals at crosswalks and stations. One thing that surprises tourists in Japan is the use of sound signals at crosswalks and announcements at train stations. At pedestrian crossings, different melodies play, which can vary from district to district. These signals were originally designed for people with visual impairments, but they've become a part of everyday life for all Japanese people. At train stations, each station may have its own unique melody, and tourists often don't immediately understand why it's there. But in reality, everything is carefully thought out. These audio signals help visually impaired people navigate the area. Unique melodies allow passengers to immediately recognize which station they're at, even if they can't see the station name. Sometimes, the melodies are connected to the history or culture of the neighborhood. For example, at Shibuya Station, melodies from anime are played, while in Asakusa, you'll hear a tune that resembles traditional Japanese music. Additionally, announcements in Japanese subways and train stations are very soft and polite, and they're read in pleasant voices to avoid creating a stressful atmosphere. These These announcements include melodic signals, and on long-distance trains, you can often hear nature sounds like rain or birdsong. This system may seem amusing, but it really makes life easier for many people. Imagine how convenient it would be if every subway station in your city had its own melody. Fifth is the culture of politeness and bowing. In Japan, politeness is not just good manners. It's a full-fledged communication system. There are clear rules that express respect, and one of the main symbols of this is the bow. What should you know about bowing? The deeper the bow, the more respect it shows. A slight nod of the head is usually a casual greeting among acquaintances. A 30-degree bow is a sign of respect, like in stores when a salesperson thanks you for your purchase. A deep 45-degree bow expresses deep respect, gratitude, or apology. In some situations, people may bow multiple times in a row, especially when saying goodbye after a business meeting. For example, when two people part ways, they might bow, and then one of them bows again. Then the other follows, and it can go back and forth for several seconds. Japanese people tend to apologize, even for small things. If someone accidentally bumps into you on the street, they'll immediately apologize and give a slight bow. Even if a store can't sell you something, the staff will bow and apologize for the inconvenience. In general, respect for the person you're speaking to is a vital part of communication in Japanese culture. Even the tone of voice is often softened, especially in formal situations. How does this surprise tourists? Many foreigners feel awkward at first. Do I have to bow back? And if I don't, is it rude? But in reality, tourists aren't expected to bow in return. Still, if you do, the Japanese will appreciate your respect for their culture. Sixth is the strict rules on escalators. Japan is a country of order, and even on escalators, strict rules apply. If you stand on the wrong side, people might give you disapproving looks, and they may not know how to get around you due to the heavy flow of commuters during rush hour. Everyone here knows exactly where they're supposed to stand and which side to take. How does it work? In Tokyo and most regions, it's customary to stand on the left and walk on the right. In Osaka and some other parts of Japan, it's the opposite. People stand on the right and leave the left side open for those in a hurry. It may seem like a small thing, but if a tourist stands in the middle or blocks both sides, it can create chaos, especially during rush hour when the flow of people is very organized. In many places, there are even signs showing which side to stand on, and in large cities, loudspeakers occasionally remind people of this rule. It's also worth remembering that during rush hour, it's better to avoid using the escalator at all and take the stairs. Japanese people highly value efficiency and don't like it when someone disrupts the flow. Seventh, no tipping in restaurants. In Japan, tipping culture simply doesn't exist, and this shocks tourists who are used to thanking the server with extra money. What happens if you leave a tip? In most cases, the server will run after you and return the money, thinking you forgot your change. Some people might feel confused because, in Japanese culture, good service is considered a standard, not something you're supposed to pay extra for. In rare cases, tourist spots might automatically include a service charge in the bill, but that's more of an exception. At the same time, the level of service in Japan is incredibly high. Waitstaff always do their best, even without expecting any additional reward. You know, we had one experience when we first arrived in Japan. One time, we walked past a vending machine and couldn't even tell whether it was part of someone's garage or belonged to a building. But naturally, since it had drinks, we decided to buy one. Normally, drinks were 130 yen everywhere, but in this machine, they were 110. And we already knew out of habit that this specific tea usually costs 130. So, we put in the money and took the drink. Then someone came out from behind, and we realized that we might have been in someone's garage. Anyone who's been to Japan will understand what I mean. Sometimes it's hard to tell whether you're walking into a building or already on private property. We felt a little embarrassed, thinking we might have trespassed. I'm not even sure if that was the case or not. We quickly left with the drink. In the end, that person actually ran after us all the way to the metro station. He ran, bowed, and apologized. As it turned out, he was bringing us our change because we hadn't taken it, and we felt a bit uncomfortable since we really thought we'd stepped onto someone's property. We hadn't even noticed the change, just a few small coins, but the man took it seriously and ran after us to return it. That really surprised us. Eighth is cafes with unusual concepts. In Japan, a cafe is not just a place to have coffee or a snack. Many establishments offer unique experiences that are hard to find in other countries. Here are a few types of unusual Japanese cafes. Animal cafes with cats, owls, hedgehogs, pigs, reptiles, and even capybaras. You can order a drink and play with the animals. Nap cafes, where you can rent a cozy spot and take a nap. These places are often equipped with soft chairs or even beds. Cuddle cafes, where people come to hug plush toys or even the staff, but only in a platonic way. Robot cafes, where you're served by robots. In some of these cafes, the robots are remotely operated by people with disabilities. Cafes themed around the samurai era or other historical periods. Staff dress in period costumes, and the entire atmosphere matches the era. Dark cafes, where guests dine in complete darkness to focus on the taste of the food. These cafes aren't just a way to eat, they're full-on attractions that leave a lasting impression on tourists. Ninth is local laws about smoking and drinking. Japan has strict smoking laws, but when it comes to alcohol, it's quite the opposite. Drinking in public is allowed. Let's talk about smoking first. You can only smoke in designated areas, both outdoors and indoors. In most cities, smoking on the street is completely banned unless there's a specific smoking area. Breaking this rule can result in a fine. As for restaurants, the rules vary. Some have smoking sections, while others ban smoking altogether. To be honest, I'm really glad about that because I have allergies and can't stand it when someone smokes nearby. For me, it's truly a lifesaver. Now, regarding alcohol, unlike many countries, in Japan you're allowed to drink alcohol in public. You can peacefully have a beer in the park, on the street, on a train, or even near a convenience store, and no one will say anything. In some areas, like Shibuya, temporary restrictions on public drinking may be enforced during major holidays. This mix of strict smoking laws and relaxed rules about alcohol surprises many tourists. 10th is the speed of food and package delivery. One of the most convenient aspects of life in Japan is the incredible speed of food and package delivery. Food delivery can take just 15 to 30 minutes, even during rush hour. This is due to the large number of couriers and well-organized logistics systems in restaurants. Package delivery is even faster. If you order something in the morning, there's a high chance it will arrive the next day, even if it's coming from the other side of Japan. And if you're not home, the courier will simply leave the package by your door, and it can stay there for several days without anyone stealing it. That happened to us when we went on a 2-week trip around Japan. When we returned, there was practically a whole warehouse of packages waiting at our door, and no one had taken anything. It was truly amazing. The high level of trust in society and the efficient logistics system make this process incredibly convenient. 11th is the ability to read books for free in stores. In Japanese bookstores, you can freely read books even if you don't buy them. In large bookstore chains, visitors are welcome to flip through and read books right there in the store. Many shops have comfortable chairs and sofas where you can sit and read peacefully. No one will rush you or ask you to buy the book. On the contrary, store owners believe that if someone gets interested in a book, they're more likely to purchase it. This tradition especially surprises tourists, since in most countries reading books for free in stores is considered unacceptable. 12th is that Japanese people never say no directly. In Japanese culture, saying no outright is considered rude, so people often avoid using the word and opt for more indirect expressions. If someone tells you something might be a little difficult, it most likely means they're refusing. A phrase like, "let's think about it," is actually a polite way of saying, "No. I'll try, but I can't promise," means there's a very slim chance it will actually happen. This communication style is rooted in the cultural importance of maintaining harmony and avoiding confrontation. For tourists, this can be confusing. It may seem like the person is still considering your request, when in fact they've already politely declined. 13th is comfort in everything, from food vending machines to convenience stores. In Japan, everything is designed to make everyday life as convenient as possible. Food and drink vending machines are everywhere. There are nearly 5 million vending machines across the country, found on streets, in parks, in the mountains, and even in cemeteries. These machines don't just sell water and soda, they also offer hot drinks, soups, rice balls, noodles, and even freshly brewed coffee. Some machines even heat the food right inside, so you get a ready-to-eat hot meal. Shopping convenience in stores. In supermarkets and 24-hour convenience stores, cashiers quickly pack your groceries into bags so you don't have to do it yourself. In larger stores, there are dedicated packing stations where you can organize your purchases without getting in the way of others. Konbini stores are a whole different level of convenience. At any time of day or night, you can buy ready-made food, coffee, fresh produce, stationery, and even pay bills. In Japan, comfort is considered in every detail. People truly value convenience and efficiency in all areas of life. 14th is Japanese festivals and seasonal events. The Japanese love traditional festivals called matsuri, which take place year-round. These can be religious, historical, seasonal, or themed. Summer in Japan is the season of spectacular fireworks shows held across the country. The most famous firework festivals include Sumidagawa Hanabi in Tokyo, Nagaoka Hanabi in Niigata, and the festival in Osaka. People gather in parks, wear yukata, type of light summer kimono, and enjoy the show. Other major festivals include Gion Matsuri in Kyoto, one of the oldest festivals in Japan, featuring huge decorated floats. The Sapporo Snow Festival is famous for its giant ice sculptures, competitions, and shows. Setsubun is a festival marking the change of seasons when people throw beans to drive away evil spirits. Festivals are a key part of Japanese culture, and tourists absolutely must experience at least one of these events. 15th is the level of trust in society. Japan is one of the safest and most honest countries in the world, and this shows in many aspects of everyday life. People can leave their belongings on a table in a cafe and walk away without worry. No one will steal their phone or wallet. If someone loses their wallet, there's a 99% chance it will be turned in to the police or left somewhere visible. In stores, you'll often see open boxes of money at the register, and customers take their own change. No one fears being cheated. Children can walk around alone, even in big cities, because the crime rate in Japan is extremely low. This level of trust amazes tourists and makes traveling in Japan even more comfortable and safe. These are the 15 things that can shock tourists in Japan. This country blends advanced technology with ancient traditions, incredible comfort with strict rules, creating a truly unique atmosphere. What surprised you the most from this list? Please let me know in the comments. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for being here with me, and see you in the next video. Bye-bye.